of matchmaking.
Okay.
Come on.
Okay.
There is. Oh man, I should pull it up. There's a website.
Okay.
I was wondering where.
There's a website called Palmly, and I'm
PALM.
thank you. You gotta get good friends who know you
LY.
can't spell. 'Cause
Palmly.
Don't even like Palmly.com.
Yes.
All right, I found them. I still misspelled it. All right, give me 1 second.
I think that is. You got too many dots in there.
Come on now, Palmly. Come on.
So while you talking, why don't you tell them what Palmly is?
All right, Palmly. I'm glad you think I could type in.
Multitasking.
Uh,
That is true.
Palmly. All right, here we go.
All right.
Get Palmly. I'm gonna show you guys this. I have already signed up. By the way, Palmly is like a dating service for people in churches.
Mhm.
Okay,
Rephrase how you saying that.
it is like an escort service. I don't know
For
what's
church.
When you say dating service for people,
It's like a matchmaking service.
Not for people, not for.
Yeah.
It's for churches and individuals.
there you go.
So they're matching
Yes,
people to
Churches.
potential churches.
and it helps you find your wife.
Really?
No, just
Okay. Because you might want to
all right.
go and hop on it.
No.
It's like,
Okay. Jason knows that. Okay. All right. Let me pull this up right here. All right. So Palmly, we're gonna share this website right now, and I'm just curious. You guys start already signed up. All right. They got Palmly is a church where they basically you tell them what type of church you want, they find it for you. And then they had the church reach out to you like, this is car insurance.
whoa. The church reaches out to you.
I think so, because
I
they
didn't
took all
know
the
that.
information.
That's interesting.
So you tell them what type of church you want, non-denominational. You tell them what type of music you like.
Mm.
You tell them if you like Christian rap, if you like gospel, if you like...
There's
tell
a
them
whole
what type of
profile.
size of church you like, everything, yeah.
Wow.
Oh wow.
And then the church calls you back and say, okay, what's your income?
No.
And how much do you intend to be?
No, but you can also ask them how many scriptures you want them to preach from.
What?
no,
It's
you
like-
you
yeah,
are
well,
you
I
are
just
jumping.
did it.
What is that?
Dog,
So
you
It's
are-
like, do you want a church that preaches from 7 or more scriptures or whatever?
That's very interesting. The-
I can't believe
It's sounding horrible. It's sounding worse.
But
right?
is that a bad thing? I was like,
Yes.
this is great.
that.
So, and they were saying, like, do you want more motivational teaching? Or do you want, you get to pick the type of teaching you want? Is this a bad thing? Do you guys think this is
I don't know how I feel about it. That's weird.
I love it. It's like Smoothie King. You say, do you want strawberries, kiwis?
But that contradicts 1,000% everything
Does it?
that we've been talking about on the podcast. No,
Aaron says this is weird.
no.
No, why you say that?
Oh, I'm gonna say this because I think it's maybe because it sounds different, but one of the things that we talk about how church is too much. I feel like it gets into like it's almost like catering to a person's idea of what church should be, and sometimes our personal ideas or what we want is not necessarily, how can I say, beneficial. And it's like for example, let me use type of music.
Okay.
Let's say type of music, right? I want to go to a church with this. I don't know.
I crave for worship.
I don't know. Maybe
No.
it just feels weird. Maybe
it does feel
it
weird.
feels
I'm gonna give you
weird.
some bump back, Fred.
Okay,
Thank you.
give me some bump back. Give me some bump back. It feels weird. Let me.
No, I think it feels weird because it's on a platform like this. However,
Whatever.
this is exactly what we do when we choose a church to go to anyway. We
True.
go visit a church or we visit multiple churches
Fill it
and then
out.
we sit in the audience
You say
and
this.
then we decide.
Do I like
this
the teaching?
do I like the preaching?
Do I like
Is
the
this guy talking about football too much? Is he talking about, this? Does he look like this? Or do they have childcare to accommodate my children?
I had children.
So
Yes.
like we run churches through these gauntlets already.
Come on.
So this might be
The
Oh.
new way.
no, not a new way, but another way. because we're doing it already.
All right, so let me.
Wait, I'm not finished talking, Fred. Don't cut me off.
I'm sorry. Go ahead, Jason.
But I'm almost done. So
Continue.
this might be a way in which we can kind of, instead of visiting, like almost wasting our time,
What?
going to a church that we probably wouldn't go to anyway,
Thank you.
that we kind of narrow the field and say, all right, this lines up with what my beliefs are, what my thinking is.
on.
Maybe some of the boxes are kind of superficial. I'm granted. Some of the boxes might be superficial, but it could work out. It
Thank you.
could be okay.
It's like this. Remember when people first started doing dating? Online dating now is pretty universally
Yeah,
accepted.
yeah,
But
definitely.
initially, it was like the weirdest thing in the world. Like,
Right.
you're going to meet somebody online just by answering some questions.
Mm.
This is like the eHarmony of that.
Okay.
You should have just let me talk.
No, I hear your point.
yeah.
I actually agree with your point. I think there may be a little bit difference in, like, when we go to a church, obviously that church is not going to check off every box
Sure.
Right.
that we came with, and with that decision, you're looking at, you know what, like, it kind of, in my opinion, it kind of forces you, because the church is not checking off every box,
Mm.
to look at, is this box important,
Mhm.
superficial, or is this box like, you know what,
Right.
the worship music may not be my cup of tea, but this word is fire.
Yeah,
So
that
X, Y,
scripture
and Z.
question is wild though.
Well, because some people have some people don't like. To me, it felt more like for the John MacArthur type of people. It's like, I need them to make sure that the whole sermon is 12 scriptures. Versus some people don't. Some people may like a Stephen Furtick. They may like more motivational.
But that has nothing to. How many scriptures a pastor, preacher, or teacher uses has no weight on the type of preaching or their ability or inability to get their point across. So it's just a weird question for me.
I'm gonna reach out to the CEO of Palm.
You should.
Yes,
That
you
would
should.
Be cool.
That'd be
We're
great.
gonna have a conversation.
That'd be great.
On some of these scriptures, on some of these questions. All right. So what are some? Just curious. What are some of the other questions that they asked?
So I wanted to pull it up, but you gotta get into the mainframe to do it. You have to. So they ask you, do you want non-denominational?
Okay.
Well, you know what type of denomination? I told them non-denominational.
Right.
They said, do you want a side of fries? I said, I want a side of fries. They said, do you want the preacher to be sassy? I said, a little bit of sassy.
You asked the wrong question to the wrong person.
And
Nah, I mean, he had an opportunity to really.
He did.
I can't remember.
All right, no
And then I
problem.
said,
Okay.
but
So once you dig into it, I'm curious to see what your results will pull up.
all right, so whatever church they sent me to, I'm gonna go.
To
That
visit.
is hilarious.
And I told them 500 or less.
Okay.
500 members or less.
500 members or less.
Okay. All right.
So, and I told them where I live.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll see.
You know where you're going to end up,
That
right?
would be
Right back at his own church.
Wherever they send me, I'm gonna go. But speaking of churches, they have a great conversation with Pastor Jeremy Treat yesterday
Okay.
about church. We've been having a lot of conversations about church, what makes a church
You
XYZ.
wanna speak?
And so, oh yeah, thank you. He is a pastor out of California. I think they have a pretty good sized church out there in California. So he's a pastor out there. We had a great conversation about what makes a church a church. He definitely feels differently about it than I'll just speak for me than I do. But that's why I want to have a conversation with him about it. Because then it's like, instead of getting into an echo chamber of people who just think like you,
Right.
who maybe have had those experiences that could be blind to you, it's good to have a different perspective. And he did help get a good. He did help add perspective to some things for sure. So that conversation should be out on Monday on the channel with Pastor Jeremy Trees. It seems like a really good dude. I really mess with him. But speaking of finding the right church,
Yes.
what if the right church is a pastor who dresses nice,
Yeah.
maybe you want a small church, but you want your pastor to dress nice.
Okay.
Maybe you want your pastor to wear a lot of jewelry.
Mhm.
Come on, somebody. Maybe you want your pastor to wear colored frame glasses. All right, somebody. Maybe you want your pastor to um, insult people on live. Okay. And maybe your pastor got robbed and he's upset that you guys are making fun of him. We are going to talk about, we have to talk about it, the robbery of Brooklyn pastor Lightfoot. No, his name's not Lightfoot.
Whitehead.
Whitehead. I don't know where I got Lightfoot.
That's what he should have
It
had
was
when
some
the
type
robbers
of,
came in.
oh my gosh. All right. But you know, we got to talk about it. But first, Sean says this about my new journey and my new friends. I really am going to reach out to him. We're going to reach out to him tomorrow and see if they'll come on the podcast or at least sit down for a chat. All right. Still processing thoughts, but sounds very me-centered. Yes, theology/doctrine is important at a church, but this seems like the approach is how can I serve me and how can I
Versus how can
I serve.
Mm-hmm. I agree with that.
Aaron says, I agree with you. I mean, okay, but here's the question. Is that any different? Yeah.
That's what I said.
I feel like we do that, though.
I think we do that too.
Yeah, we do, but I think I thought a lot of the conversations that we have here is like that shouldn't be the case, though, right?
I mean,
We
I
do
don't
it.
think that's
We-
going to change. You mean people, but is that bad? I mean,
You're not gonna change. If you go to church and you're not feeling it, you're not gonna go
you know
for
what I'm
whatever
saying?
reason.
Definitely.
You might not say or know exactly what the reason is, but if you can, if you could, if there is the perfect church out there, or whatever
It's
you
not.
deem to be perfect, or as close as you can get, and maybe your help is, I don't know,
Mhm.
because I don't feel like. I don't like this. I don't like Pomley. I don't like it. It feels
like
really
Pomley.
uncomfortable.
It feels weird. Yeah.
But I don't think it's so far off from what we already do, and that's
Yeah, I think it forces
the
us.
only thing that I am thinking of.
You see what I'm saying?
Is this going to affect the recording process?
No.
All of the
Maybe.
yeah.
I just saying. I think this is what we do. You go to a church. You go to a church. You see if you like the music.
Right.
You go to a church. You see if you like the preaching.
Right.
You go to a church. If it's, I mean, you probably would not go to a. I mean, you're probably intentionally about the type of denomination or whatever.
Yeah,
you go to.
exactly.
I mean,
Yeah.
these are all questions. That
Yeah,
we're asking.
but you're checking boxes off in your head anyway. I know I am.
yeah,
I'm judging hard.
hold on,
Read my mind, Fred.
but
You know what I'm saying?
don't do it.
Your
to
first time going to church, I'm judging
No.
really
You know
hard.
what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? I can't say, but you know what I'm saying?
Go ahead.
What you want to say?
You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? All right, go ahead.
Go ahead and say it.
I'm pretty at the Toys R Us of. I mean, this is like the marketplace. This is
So-
the dream. This is where dreams are made. If anybody's perfected this, go ahead, Fred. What were you saying?
Wow.
And he stopped himself.
Yeah,
Cause
He
Yeah,
stopped.
that's
I wanted him to go full in. I wanted him to go
I
full
might
in.
end up there. Who knows? Pomley might say perfect place for
No,
you.
what I'm saying is, I agree.
Uh-huh.
This is what we
How
already
many
do.
features does your church have?
But I'm saying like
Tesla.
the questions, like to me, it reinforces a negative thing that I thought we all agree is a negative thing, and what Sean Fenton is saying that it's like a serve me
Me.
versus how can I serve, you know. So I'm saying like when we go to a church, like we don't know, we have our things, but we go in there, and of course it's inevitable that church is not going to check off every boxes,
Right.
but it forces you
Mm.
to make those like, okay, well, make those decisions. I feel like with the thing, you don't have to go through that. Like you got all your, they're gonna match you with your already, like you give
Yeah.
all your boxes, right? They're gonna match you accordingly, right? And then you go there. So I think it just forces you to not go through that process of like, all right, you know, it may not have this,
Kinda
but it
write
has
people
this. Yeah, like I feel like it just forces you to, like, how can I be served?
I
Type
think
of thing.
he's okay with that.
Okay.
I don't think he's seeing a problem with anything you're saying.
I don't see I don't see how it does anything different
Mm.
than what we do when we look for a church. I mean, what would be the specific difference between like and again, I'm still. Again, my current philosophy is a smoothie king. They're like, I'm not looking for a church to change my life. I'm looking for a place to go serve, be a good place to connect with more believers.
Mhm.
I don't think it. I mean, I'm not. I don't feel like it has to be like. I don't know. I'm not looking for them
Perfect.
to freaking baptize me in olive oil.
Okay.
But I don't know. I'm saying like,
That
what?
sounds refreshing.
How would it be different than
I don't
anything
think it's
anybody
different.
else does? It's just not out loud. But what you're saying is we are supposed to stop doing that.
I think that it
think
is
you
in
got
my
to do
in my opinion. I think it's healthy because I am open to the idea that this is maybe because it's new that it feels weird. So that's why I'm trying to process as I'm thinking as I'm like speaking right now. But I just feel like it just reinforces exactly what Sean said. Just reinforces the idea of like serve me.
Why'd you join your church? Why'd you decide to join your church?
I decided to join. No, it's good. Let's
No, he's yeah. You just go ahead.
What?
Go ahead.
I decided to. I decided to join my church because one, I enjoyed the message.
Mhm.
Well, when I visited, I enjoyed the message, and I felt like there was some things, not just for me, but my new family,
Right.
that we could gain from the messages that we heard there. I enjoyed the worship,
Mm-hmm.
and then also I enjoyed the many the opportunities that we would have to be able to serve
Mm-hmm.
and to connect with other believers. Those were like the three top reasons.
Right.
But those are all the things they asked me on the list. They even asked me about small groups. Do you want church to do small groups?
Yeah, but there are some things about the church that initially I like, and still I don't really love. But those three outweigh the things I did love. I feel like what I'm saying is, and I could be wrong, but I feel like just thinking it through that if and I love the church that I'm at. So I feel like going on a website, like, and those churches had those three criterias,
Yeah.
but those other criterias I don't like is not on there. I'm not gonna be matched with that church. You know what I'm saying? Like I feel like we could be missing out
Mm.
on places that is beneficial for us because we don't allow that going through this process. I feel like it eliminates that process to kind of weigh, okay, what is important or what is not that serious, not that important. That's my opinion.
Okay. I'm gonna see what they match me with.
Yeah. I'm curious to know.
And
I'm
for
gonna
everybody who's wondering what this is, I go to Union Church, so they
Somebody.
so that's where I enjoy the church that I go
Hey,
to.
man, you should.
But I see that
Union Church, formerly known as Destiny Harvest, formerly
Formerly
known
known
as
as-
I-5, formerly
Formerly
known
known
as Living Waters.
they
Formerly
it's
known as.
shade.
This is a great church. I love you.
But I love you.
Sean says, oh, first of all, Erin asked this. She said, I wonder if they ask about ethnic demographics of your preferred church. They did not.
They didn't
That's
ask.
interesting.
Did you? And you filled it out completely?
I filled it out completely.
Okay.
Hmm.
Now I'm just waiting to get called. Hey, buddy.
I would
Saw
think
you
that.
took this survey. Yeah. So no, I don't. Not that I remember. I don't think they did. This is a type of investment and commitment that is required when you visit. There's a type of investment and commitment that is required when you visit a church versus getting selected based on the website.
Yeah, that phone call in return is a little weird to me. It would be different. You said the church is going to contact you. I
yeah.
think it would be different if they just gave you
A list.
a list that you
That you
can
could just
visit
go
at
to.
your own, like maybe
If
geolocated, because they're gonna call you. Hey, Eric, we saw that you were interested in this, and you're gonna be like, "Who is this? Don't call me."
No,
I'm
I
an
feel
introvert.
Like the same thing I tell Papa John's when they call, say your pizza's ready. You got the little app that track your pizza. They go be like, your church is ready. I'm like, cool. I see you Sunday. What's the problem?
I am very curious to see how this is going to turn out. I am very curious.
I don't know, but whatever,
It's
wherever
like
they.
telemarketing.
What if this is it? All
Do
right.
you feel like let me ask you a personal question.
Hit me.
Do you feel like you will feel the exact same way about this website, let's say about 2-3 years ago?
That's a good question. Well, no, but I think maybe I did not feel the same way about church in general that I feel now. So no.
Okay.
But maybe this is and that's the thing. I think maybe, if I'm being honest, and I don't know. Like I said, I'm gonna reach out to him, talk to him. Maybe it's not for everybody, but it may be for some people like me.
And who is some people like you?
We're looking for a good smoothie king. And,
You said you wanted to be the one working at Smoothie King, not being served at Smoothie King. That's what you told us.
Yeah. I mean, but I can work at Smoothie King.
Okay.
I'm saying wherever I go,
Mhm.
I'm going to serve.
Mhm.
So let's say they match me with ABC Church.
Yeah.
If I like the church, I'm going to get connected. I'm going to serve there. Will that become the basis for my growth in Christ?
Does your wife matter?
Yeah.
He hasn't even.
I did.
You didn't even think about it.
I'm feeling it so
You
fast.
didn't even think
Oh,
about
you
your
didn't talk
wife.
I didn't
about-
know that.
She has no idea about
Is she finding
anything.
out on this podcast?
She doesn't
It
know.
all happened so quick. I saw it. I was like, this is fantastic.
Before you knew it, you had already